Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, let's take a second and kind of assess where we're at. Cash flow is very good, but that's not shocking on account of taxes are quite high. I could drop taxes back, but I don't necessarily want to do that. Military wages are really high. So I could drop those back, although that's not that much in costs compared to my total, but every little bit helps. We've got our interest groups somehow completely lined up on approval, which is kind of fun. That said, I am going to drop the military wages back to Midland. That's going to remove patriotic fervor, but we're not in a war right now. Our radical to loyalist ratio is alright, but it's a lot worse than it's been historically. Standard of living is pretty good. Population's pretty good, but GDP is toast. I've really gotten wrecked GDP. Unemployment and peasants are way down, and I think a lot of that is due to the war. I think this tiny inflection point here, this is the war. This is what the war did to our population growth. And it did it to a lot of different countries. So I'm really hoping we're going to make that up in immigration. So where else are there Catholic majorities? Austria, Occitania, France, not Germany. And not the Slavic nations. Spain, yes. Portugal, yes. So yeah, we're hoping we'll bring in a lot of friends from those countries to fill the slots in our to fill the emptiness in our economy. For a while, I'm going to continue to not build. I think I want to keep. Well, actually, I might be able to build, but I don't know because I think to a certain extent these armies are low on manpower for what they're supposed to be. Well, it doesn't seem like they're actually that low. Maybe I'll start building again. What does our market need? It's been a long war. What does our market need? It needs more meat. We're importing meat? Unbelievable. How could this happen? There's Portugal asking for help. Yep. I will accept. Obviously. I think that was inevitable. Yes, my whole power block supports Portugal. I cannot add a war goal because this is not that type of war. Now, my smallest army is the Second Corps. I think they should be more than able to handle this war. So I'm going to mobilize and send them in, and that should be just fine. Who's Britain fighting over here? It's Egypt. Alright, cool. I'm trying to steal Galeti from who? Where's Galeti? Somaliland. Alright. Oh, no, over here. Yes, sorry. I got confused. Alright. So now, what do I... Did South Africa become independent? They did. Now, okay, but Zollverein's got maxed out leverage, but they're going to lose a lot of leverage. And I could potentially gain some leverage by drafting a treaty, so let's draft a treaty. How big's their debt? 2.5 million? That's nothing. I'll take on their debt. Defensive Pact. Ooh, they don't want both of those. Interesting. Power Bloc Embassy. They don't want to give me that, but that's what's going to happen. Trade privileges. Very cool. And investment rights. And they'll take all that for a defensive pact. And a take on debt. What if I get cash? can't add this. Does not say why. Maybe because we're taking on their debt. Alright, well, anyway, let's send this proposal. They will surely give me all of this good stuff that I desire. And do I want to make them do a law commitment? Okay. Wow, they're really happy with the way their country is set up, I must say. Alright, let's do it. I want South Africa to be in my power block. Okay, come on, you guys. Beautiful. This number keeps getting lower, and I'm not super happy about that. But I am working. Now, what's next? I was thinking about constructing stuff. Right. I need more efficient meat industries, because I'm bringing in a lot of meat. From the international market, and that's silly. I'm Italy. Livestock ranches being unprofitable is not great. I could do refrigerated storage. Let's try that. Set me to rural. And then livestock ranches. Here we go. Refrigerated storage. Let's do refrigerated rail cars. All right, that is making them more profitable. We are on electric fences already. Let's look at some profitable meat locations. Umbria, these ones are losing money. Don't love that. Ones in Campania, increasing in cash flow. Calabria and Apulia. These build really fast. I don't need to necessarily build too many more of these. I'll build another 5 in Umbria as well. Yeah, it's looking like these are actually much more profitable since I did that tech change. So I'll do all this stuff as well. These will get built pretty fast. Cash flow is still doing pretty excellent. Let's go to urban. I think I'm going to increase the size of the automotive industry because I'm making bank on these. Why can't I? Because I already made a tariff change. All right. Well, that's interesting. I might go to tariffs for cars again. But we'll see. I know I got this button. Maybe I'll hit this button. It's going to add an oil input. That's the difference. It's going to add an oil input if I go to nitrogen fixation process. Do I have the oil for that in my customs union? Should be I do. Where's oil? I'm getting worse at finding goods in this list. Here we go. Oil is very affordable for me. So yeah, let's do it. So that makes them less profitable, but for the farms, I can now add in chemical fertilizers, and that's going to make them more profitable. And that's what I want. Alright. Now from here, let me just go back to all. That's going to make life easier for me. Glassworks are not profitable. Okay, they are profitable under Bone China, which is nice. Let's leave that way, and that'll be good to go. Now, the market. Yes, I wanted to produce more cars, because everybody wants Italian cars made by Fiat. So, let's go ahead. Wow! Auto industry strong. Alright, let's get those building. Just gonna put a bunch of levels in there. Something's going on with Majertine. There's a socialist revolt in Tunisia that I need to deal with. That having been said, force comparison here looks pretty good, so I'm not too worried about that. Tunis is obviously totally devastated from British occupation, which lasted a long time. But obviously we've done a lot of damage to Britain. Now we are in the #1 position in the world power rankings, but we're gonna need to be careful in order to make sure that we stay there. I think maybe I'll stop building stuff because our positive cash flow has gotten less good. Ooh. I finally got trade unions. That's great. Excellent. I lost a leader. A general, I think. None of my army seems... Ooh, 3rd Corps needs maybe another leader. Let me see. This guy is... None of these guys are great. Let me just kind of offload them into another army. See if I can get someone better for the 3rd Corps. Wait a minute. 4th Corps is one of my big ones. Oh, man. I goofed up. That's okay. This guy's a positivist. This guy's a jingoist. Both of those are rock solid. We'll bring them in. We'll give you a couple of promotions. And we'll do the same for you. You guys are both positivists. Wrathful, extra morale damage, reduced morale loss, persistent, significantly reduced morale loss. Let's grab this guy. Alright. So I think once we finish with this huge automotive industrial expansion, we'll just be done building more stuff. Maybe we'll cut... No, I'm liking it where we're going. Again, I just want to keep my cash flow very heavily positive because I'm on high taxes right now, and I desperately need to chip away at this massive debt because we've got a lot of interest. And I know that I just took on debt from South Africa, but that was a political move. Let me see. Chile wants to give us investment rights in exchange for trade privileges. No, thank you. So how do I get you... Where do I get to see leverage? There's the thing popping off in Tunisia. Again, I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. The one in Portugal is going. We are making good headway here. In fact, we've got Beira fully occupied now. Oh, I need to invade some of these other places. Alright, so... Let's grab the 3rd Fleet and head that way. Again, I genuinely do not think my assistance is required here, although it might be. Okay, no, we're doing better now. All right, beautiful. They had 2 battalions and no commander, and yet they were kind of sort of losing. All right, we got a lot of small places to invade over time. Oh my gosh, they got Portugal got Liberia. That's pretty cool. That's neat. This fleet is needs to be on interception. That allows them to do a naval invasion. Economy is growing again. We're at #2 now behind Britain, but we're catching up. Again, part of that's due to the absolute devastation which we wreaked upon them during that massive war. Which I think actually served our strategic goals pretty significantly. We are moving forward in the Azores invasion. Let's see if they got any other territory over here. Because I know... Yeah, Portuguese Radical Revolt is over here in Indonesia, so we need to invade that territory as well. All blocks members? Is this how I see my influence? If I hit invite countries, equals 200 leverage I currently have negative 72. 200 leverage advantage, really. Beautiful. So, we're going to have 365 eventually, because we're increasing and the Zolvarine is losing. So hopefully we'll be able to pull them in without too much effort. Without too much additional effort. Cash flow is doing a little bit better. Feeling pretty good about that. It's going to be a lot better once we're no longer building up these automotive industries, but we need to build these automotive industries because that's bringing cash into our country. Let's go ahead and take the third corps and invade this area. It's going to take a lot of time, but it might not matter, actually. 10 weeks, they won't have capitulated yet, but it's going to be very, very close. Sadly, Spain is the head of its own power block, as is Occitania, because I would love to be able to invade them. Just for funsies. I just want to see how much of our economy they own. About 20%. That's not ideal. But relations are good. I don't foresee it being a problem. Egypt is, of course, losing another war, which is their way. Let's put the main fleet back in Italy for now. Alright. We're closing out our construction queue. Cash flow is getting back to better. We're down to 80k interest a week, so we're really doing well. I didn't realize that we had so much capacity for increase. Like, I think I hadn't really gotten through my head just how much debt a country can take on in this game without technically being bankrupt. That said, I don't want to continue doing what I'm currently doing. What is East Africa? East Africa is Portuguese, but they're a republic. Very interesting. Let's be... Theoretically, if I made Portuguese East Africa a protectorate, nobody would step in. Not Austria, not Russia. I'm sure I can take them in a fight. I definitely can. You know what? Let's do this. Ooh, I could take... No. Taking states is not as good as getting a protectorate. Annex country. That's quite curious. I'm not going to do it, but it's curious. And you're nobody's subject. That's quite unusual. I'm going to make you a protectorate. Sir? Time for protection! Alright, they have said no. But I'm not worried about that. This war is going to get done pretty soon. The thing is, we make landing progress here. And when it does, I'll simply move my forces over there. And then we'll all be in good stead. We're in the escalation now. Do I want any war goals? Don't want to regime change them. No, I don't think I want anything. Beautiful. I could get some more territory for Gaza. But not Zambezia, interestingly. Which I would want, because that would make them continuous. Alright. This army is on their way there. I feel very strongly in my ability to win this war if nobody intervenes. So I'll just simply leave that be. And that will be just fine. The only question is, are they going to get there soon enough? And I think the answer is yes, but they seem to be taking their sweet time getting out of Indonesia. Speaking of Indonesia, might be... Oh. And now Gaza's in a civil war. Alright, so... I'm going to mobilize another army to deal with the Gazan Civil War. That is unfortunately going to cost me even more money, but hopefully it won't be that big of a deal. And I'll be able to get wherever I wish to go in East Africa without having myself a problem. That's my goal. What is Ovenbundu? Ovenbundu is a native nation. Cool. Based. Excellent. Things are improving with South Africa. I might be able to get them into my power block. I'm not trying to... I want to have this army here before I move them over to... Actually, I'm going to put this army on the border with East Africa, and then the second corps I'll put on the border of the Gazan Revolt once this army has kind of settled here and arrived, which they are about to do, which they currently have done. Alright, so now I'm going to swap these over. Ooh, something's going on with the Empire of Japan. Great Britain's trying to steal more states. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's so many diplomatic plays going on here. Alright, guys, I gotta... So, Russia's with Bahrain against a Bahraini socialist revolt. I think I can safely ignore that. Not my business. France is on the side of Gobir against a Gobir radical revolt. I can ignore that. Great Britain. You know what? I don't care if they take a little bit more of Japan, and the fact is, if they increase their infamy beyond what their subjects will tolerate, that's fine with me. Particularly Australia. Hey, Australia, let's be better friends here. When your government consists of your entire of all your groups together, you don't really have as much of a problem keeping taxes high because it just equally reduces the ability of everyone to get elected. Cool strat. Life hack. Ah, this is excellent. This is excellent. Soon I will have myself in East Africa. Look at my power block. Hey, I finally made it up to... Well, I thought I made it up to the #1 power block. Ooh, mechanized farming. Excellent. Well, that's actually really good, because now I can do some labor-saving methods. Someone's got an engine spring, and all play and no work. General Giorgio Scapini's personal habits are starting to get in the way of his role as a general. Giorgio Scapini smiles at the officer, exultantly, avidly. His eyes have obviously seen better days. Carefully recumbent on his leather armchair, his voice comes out as rubbery as the material. It's a stressful job, you know. No need to make it more stressful. He's too valuable, minus 10% morale damage, or fire him. He's fired. You're fired. The army can live without you, sir. Alright. There's the radical revolt in Gaza. I'll have absolutely no problems dealing with that. Interest is down to 60k. We're doing very well overall. Oh, Great Britain stole a bunch of the territory I wanted. Well, that's kind of my fault for not... I don't know how that happened. Because... Oh, you know what I think? I think Egypt just got in to another spat with them over something else. Yeah, over the thing going on down here, and then then Britain just took the territory. A shining example. The armed forces regard the French Empire as a strong model of their values. With proper leadership that Italy should follow by example. They seek to join the Italian-French Society. Italian-French Society is doing fine. I hope they have... I have hope for the future of our country. We must not abandon our values. We must give the Italian-French Society a wholehearted endorsement. Some of the armed forces reflected on the speaker's words. How could joining the Italian-French Society be used in their favor? Some members argued the French Empire will prove to be a valuable ally in the future. Excellent. We have much to learn from them. They get extra, they get a little stronger, the armed forces. Or what's so great about the French Empire? The Italian-French society gets salty, armed forces get unhappy, 5% of clergymen become more radical. Yeah, I'll let them join. I'll do the first one. The French Empire, you still mad at me? Oh, we're rivals. Well, that was dumb. These things happen. Alright, there's that dealt with. And then this is very nearly dealt with. And we'll be over soon, and then we'll be back to simply growing our economy. I was going to do some mechanization, particularly of my livestock ranches. Yeah, let's do mechanized slaughterhouses. Intensive wool gathering, that's going to make them even more profitable. Is it? Yes, it is. And then I've already got full mechanization on the other stuff. As far as the wheat farms, let's do tractors. That has increased their profitability by a bit. And there's concrete fortifications, which is extra defense. Our war is over. Italian East Africa is my subject. Their liberty desire is going up, but they are economically dependent on us, and will continue to increase in economic dependency. Relations are bad, but they'll be back to neutral soon. So that'll be a lot better soon as we go along here. Now, let's take a quick look at our needed goods. We finally got to a reasonable point with automobiles. We're producing so many automobiles. Radios and telephones are both extremely... I built a trade center by mistake. Interesting. The mechanization of farming. The grand project of mechanizing agriculture throughout Italy is complete. Never before have such abundant yields been tallied. I got a brand new combine harvester. That's fantastic. Do you think I could borrow it once you finish your harvest? Of course, I'll give you the key. I'm glad we can work together in such perfect harmony. Distribute food surplus to the poor, extra welfare payments. How much am I paying in welfare? Not that much. Or, but could yields be even higher, extra throughput? I'm going to do the second one. Give me those yields. Let me see. I'll go a little longer. I can go a little longer. Right. I was looking at... I need to increase the size of the electrics industry. We're mostly building radios and telephones, but in some places we're only building telephones, and that's fine. I'm not going to increase things too much, because I think I'm really running up against a shortage of labor here. My economy is continuing to increase in size now that I'm building stuff and all that. But the labor issue is real. We are going up in population finally. We're not really getting the immigration that I would like to have. When's our next election? Our next election is in 23, so we're getting close. We've fallen back to position 2 as Great Britain has surged ahead. But I think we can deal with that. I think we have ways of dealing with your everything's Great Britain. Need a new general for need a new admiral for this fleet. Let me see. Democrat, ethno-nationalist, alcoholic, but a protectionist. Snag this guy. Innovative protectionist. But stacking up multiple leaders and navies can be wonky. We'll leave that guy for now. I'll have use for you later. Let's see. Anyone else whose liberty desire I could reduce? Wow, standard of living is not great. What are the decisions? I could survey a skyscraper site. That'd be fun. Let's do it. Alright. We're currently working on our electrics industry's improvement. We need more electricity in Apulia. How much more do we need? Only one level. we'll just go ahead and throw that into construction. We'll throw that at the top to get it done ASAP. That'll be just fine. All of these are small states that I don't need to worry about. People are simply having civil wars. It's all the rage these days. Everyone gets fighty and wants to have a civil war. Things are going better with Italian East Africa. They are going down in Liberty Desire and will continue to go down in Liberty Desire as things go along. With that having been said, that is actually all the time we've got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.